If you look up the definition dark horse in the dictionary, what you'll get is a description such as a candidate or competitor about whom little is known at the time, but who unexpectedly wins or succeeds. A dark horse is a previously lesser known person, athlete, and in this case, fighter, that emerges to prominence in an electric situation, especially in a competition in which he is unlikely to succeed, but has a fighting chance, unlike the underdog who is expected to lose. The dark horse shows up time and time again and impresses all of those who are watching.
Take that fight as well. I'm being norm, all right? I'm not far from the normal. This is what I do. This. I love the game. I love to fight. You feel me? Once again, you see what he do. You see he a hard worker. You see his line of work. You see everything that he get into. I'm just like that. You feel me?
What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video, we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning Brian Norman Jr. Guys, like you heard in the beginning of the video, I was speaking about what is a dark horse. It seems like in every division in boxing, there's a guy that currently maybe not everybody in the mainstream knows about, but over time through his performances, his skill set and talent, he rises above the rest and he becomes a star. And I feel that Brian Norman Jr. is on the cusp, if not already. With a spectacular knockout over Gio Santillan, he became the interim WBO champion at 147 at only 23 years old. We saw last week, Jaron Ennis became the full IBF champion with his knockout of David Avanesyan, and it wasn't that long ago that 147 was the place to be. But with Bud Crawford moving on, fighting at 154 against Majimov, and Spence supposedly fighting Seb Fedor at 154 in a few months, the division seems kind of static. You have Mario Barrios there, and he's rumored to be paired with none other than Manny Pacquiao. We'll see if that takes place. Now, with Ennis at 27 years old and Brian Norman Jr. at 23 years old, this division does now seem to be going in a different direction, and I feel it's for the better. These guys are both young, and I wanted to open the book a little bit more on who Brian Norman Jr. is, how he goes about his business, and give you guys a little bit more facts on this young upstart from Georgia. Guys, Brian Norman Jr. is 26-0 with 20 knockouts. He carries into the ring a 77% knockout to win ratio, and he's currently ranked number 9 in the world at 147 pounds. He is the WBO interim world welterweight champion, and at 23 years old, the American is an orthodox fighter, staying at 5'8" with a 72-inch reach. He last took on Gio Santillan, who was 32-0, knockout in the 10th. Janelson Figueroa, 17-2, that was a no contest. Quentin Randall, 13-0, UD in the 10th. Jesus Perez Campos, 24-4, UD in the 8th. Rodrigo Correa, 10-4, UD in the 8th. And guys, as you can see those stats, he's only had a few fights even going longer than 8 rounds. Last fight against Santillan for the title was his first scheduled 12-round fight. So the kid is young. He has over 90 rounds experience already as a 23-year-old, and he likes to stay active. When you see him fight, if you're unaware of his style, he is fun to watch. He does take shots, but he gives it just as much as he takes it, and he wants to be in a dogfight. You can see that in his 10th round destruction of Santillan. And going into that fight, a lot of people were picking Gio to win that fight. That late knockout put Brian Norman Jr. on the map. When we're thinking about potential matchups, now he has kind of been served the name Teofimo Lopez in the interview with Mark Kriegel. It's not that Norman Jr. called out Teo. Kriegel was throwing names out there, and he said Teo's name, and now that kind of has started a little bit of momentum between Norman Jr. and Lopez. We know Lopez is fighting at 140. He has spoken about wanting to come up to 47, and I mean, that fight would be excellent because it would A, give Teo instantly a title shot against Norman Jr., and B, give Norman Jr. an opportunity to get a guy like Teofimo Lopez on his record as a victory. Now, if we look a little bit farther ahead, a fight that excites me, I spoke a little bit about in our blog on Facebook, was a potential unified match between Brian Norman Jr. and Jaron Ennis, and it's actually been kind of cut right in half. I wasn't expecting so many people to side with Brian Norman Jr., the 23-year-old, but a lot of people were either going one or the other. The people who were saying Norman Jr. would beat Ennis are saying that the win against Santillan is a better win than Ennis has against any one of his opponents. And the people who were saying Boots would beat Norman Jr. were saying that Norman Jr. is just not ready for that skill set and that problem that Jaron Ennis brings into the ring. In a few weeks, I'm going to give it some time. I will do a video, a side-by-side of Ennis and Norman Jr. But for now, let's talk about who you want to see him fight. A 23 years old, undefeated knockout artist, and he is fun to watch. What do you guys think makes the most sense for his next fight? Teofimo Lopez, is it Jaron Ennis, or is it somebody that we haven't spoken about? Leave all that in the comment section below.
Let me throw one thing else out there. Guy's probably going to be here tonight.
Yeah.
Big name. If he moves up, Teofimo Lopez.
I'll definitely take that fight as well.